Good day, students. In this lesson video, you will learn how to solve logarithmic equations. And in this lesson, you will need to apply the laws and properties of logarithms. So it is important that you know the basic properties and laws of logarithms. So let's get started. So these are the strategies in solving logarithmic equations. First is rewriting to exponential form. So if you are given a logarithmic equation, pwede nyo siyang i-rewrite to its equivalent form in exponential. Number 2 strategy, using of the basic properties and laws of logarithm. And number 3, applying the one-to-one property of logarithmic functions. What does it mean? It states that if log of u to the base b is equal to log of v to the base b, then u is equal to v. So what does it mean? If the bases are equal or are the same, then you may equate u to v. That is one-to-one property. So for some equations, you only need one strategy to solve them. But for some equations, you will have to use 2 or more strategies to solve them. So let's get into it. There are 5 equations here. So let's start with number 1. The given is log of 1,331 to the base x equals 3. So take note of the logarithmic form log of y to the base b equals x. So as you can notice, this is written in this form. So here, the base is x. The y here is 1,331 and 3 is x. So among these strategies, strategy number 1 is the the most applicable one. Okay, so you may rewrite this to exponential form. So take note of this exponential form, b raised to x equals y. So reposition lang natin. So it will become x raised to 3 equals 1,331. Okay, so this is now the equivalent form of this logarithmic equation. We use the first strategy. Now, hindi pa to yung sagot. Kasi, we need to get rid of this exponent. And how are we going to do that? Ano natin naalisin yung exponent ni x? Kasi, ang kailangan lang natin ay yung x. Dapat alisin natin yung exponent. Okay, what do you think should we do? To get rid of the exponent, we get the cube root of both sides. Okay? Kung ano yung exponent ng x, yan din yung magiging index ng radical. Okay, so since yung exponent ni x ay 3, yung index ng radical natin ay 3 also. Bakit? What's the purpose of that? Para makancel natin sila. So ang matitira na lang ay yung x. Ito na lang yung kinuha natin, x. And then, we get the cube root of 1,331. So, look for a number when multiplied 3 times by itself. The answer is 1,331. Okay. So, we get 11 kasi 11 times 11 times 11 is 1,331. So, therefore, the value of the base here is 11. That's for example number 1. Let's proceed with example number 2. So we are given log of x squared to the base 10 equals 2. Nasabi kong 10 yung base nito kasi it is called the common logarithm wherein the base is 10. Pero omitted na yung base na 10. Hindi na natin nilalagay yung base na 10. Okay? So how are we going to solve this equation? We cannot use the third strategy kasi isa lang naman yung expression. Nasa left side lang naman yung may expression na log. Okay? So, still, strategy number 1 yung gagamitin natin. Okay, expressing this to exponential form, it will give us 10 raised to 2 equals x squared. Bakit naging 10 raised to 2 equals x squared? Kasi nga, the base here is 10. So, rewriting this to exponential form, it will give us 10 raised to 2 equals x squared. So, here it is. Now, we are solving for x. We are solving for x, so we have to get rid of this exponent. Dapat alisin natin yung exponent na 2. Okay? So, paano yan? Simplify muna natin si right side. 10 raised to 2 will give us 100 because 10 times 10 is 100. Ngayon, sabi ko nga, we have to get rid of this exponent. And halos same lang siya nung sa first example. Okay? Yun nga lang pinagkaiba, yung exponent doon ay 3, di ba? And dito 2. Pero same lang naman yung procedure. We'll get the, instead of cube root, syempre, square root yung kukunin natin dito. Bakit square root? Kasi ang index nito, pag sinabing square root, is automatic 2. Okay? Diba sabi ko, kung ano man yung exponent ng variable, yun din dapat yung maging value ng index. So we use square root. Okay? Pag sinabing square root, again, the index is 2. So since parehas na sila ng index, pwede na natin i-cancel. Okay? Cancel yung 2 and yung index na 2. So ang matitira na lang ay x. Okay, ngayon, dito punta tayo sa right side. Bakit merong positive negative dito? It is because the index here is an even number. Okay? If the index is an even number, then you need to put positive and negative sign before the radical sign. Okay? Again, only if the index is an even number. What are the even numbers? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. Okay, so in this case, since 2 is an even number, we put positive and negative sign. Okay, but we do not do this if the index is an odd number. Okay, like 3, 7, 9, and so on. Okay, we only do this if the index is an even number. Okay, so what is the square root of 100? It's 10. Okay, but don't forget we have positive and negative. So, ibig sabihin pala, meron tayong dalawang values ng x. Positive 10 and negative 10. Now, we have to check if both of these are solutions to this equation or only 10 ngaya or only negative 10. Okay? To check, simply substitute each of these to the original equation. Okay, so let's try log of 10 raised to 2 equals 2. So if x is 10 to. Okay, now the answer here is 2. This is correct. Okay, kasi nga the base here is 10, di ba? So applying the second property, same basis sila, the answer is 2. So this is correct. Okay? Ngayon, let's try naman negative 10. Let me erase this first. Let's check if negative 10 is a solution to this. So substituting negative 10 to the original equation, it will give us, if we are going to simplify this, negative 10 raised to 2, it will give us log of 100, okay, to the base 10. You may use your calculator to verify if log of 100 to the base 10 is really equal to 2. Okay? Using your calculator, this is also correct. Pwede nyo naman para ma-check, i-transform nyo sa exponential form. Okay? 100 is equal to 100. Okay, so ibig sabihin pala, in this equation, both positive and negative 10 are the solution. Okay? So that's for example number 2. Let's have example number 3. So in this example, still the most applicable strategy here is number 1, rewriting to exponential form. Wala naman tayong i-apply na property dyan or law. And yung logarithmic expression, nasa left side lang naman. So, we cannot perform one-to-one property. So, dito ulit tayo sa strategy number 1. So, rewriting this to exponential form, it will give us what? It will give us, ito yung B, ito yung Y, ito yung X. Okay? So, we have 3 raised to 2 equals 2x minus 1. As simple as that. Okay, again, b raised to x, ito na yon, equals y. 2x minus 1. Okay? Now, what's next? Simplify. Okay? Simplify if possible. So, in this case, we can simplify 3 raised to 2. It will give us 9. And then, we just copied the expressions in the right side of this equation. Next, we need to solve for x. What should be the next step? Applying the addition property of equality, it will give us 9 plus 1 equals 2x. And then, combining these two terms, it will give us 10. And applying the division property of equality, divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this numerical coefficient. Matitira na lang sa x. Therefore, the solution is 5. Next, number 4. Number 4, kung titingnan natin yung form niya, parang hindi siya pwedeng i-rewrite sa exponential form. Okay? Number 2, parang wala naman tayong i-apply or kailangan i-apply na properties or laws of logarithms base dun sa mga na-mention ko sa inyo. And number 3, pwede, di ba? Applying the one-to-one property, they have the same basis. So, anong gagawin sa U and V? I-equate. So, we have now 2x equals 10. So, to solve for x, kailangan gamitan ng division property of equality. So divide both sides by the numerical coefficient of x, which is 2. So we can cancel out 2. Then x is now equal to 5. So ang dali lang pala ng one-to-one property. Okay, in this case, sobrang dali lang sa gantong klaseng equation. And lastly, number 5. So how are we going to solve for this? Hindi pwede yung strategy number 3 kasi meron tayong naihiwalay na constant term. Okay? Hindi naman natin mata-transform sa exponential form. So try natin gamitan ng properties or laws of logarithm. So look at the left side of this equation. Ano kayang property or law yung applicable dyan? Ito yung U, ito yung V. We can apply here the first law. Okay, wherein we can combine U and V using multiplication. Okay? So, it will give us this. Log of, kinumbine na natin, pinagsama natin si U and V using multiplication. So, we just copied the base and then we just copied the 3. So, ang sunod dyan is to simplify these 2. Gagamitan natin ng FOIL method. So, we have here first terms, x squared. Next, outer terms, x times negative 1x, or simply negative x. Inner terms, 1 times x is 1x. Last terms, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So, combining like terms, makakancel out na tong dalawa. Kasi negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So, we have x squared minus 1 as the answer. So, we can now write this equation to like this. Kinuha na natin yung sagot ng pag-multiply natin sa kanila, ito na yun. So, mas simple na siyang tingnan. So, we apply the first law. Okay? Yung product property. Okay? And then, wala pa tayong nakukuhang value ng x. So, tingin pa tayo sa strategies kung may pwede pa tayong i-apply. Pwede natin gamitan ng strategy number 1. Rewriting this to exponential form. Ito yung base, ito yung x, ito yung y. It will give us 2 raised to x equals x squared minus 1. Alright, mas simple na siya. So, ang gagawin na lang, i-simplify ito. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8 equals x squared minus 1. And then, we need to apply the addition property of equality. We have to bring negative 1 to the left side of the equation. It will become positive 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. Na-simplify na natin yung left side, pero yung x, kung mapapansin nyo, may exponent pa siya. Paano nga natin tatanggalin tong exponent ni x? We get the square root of both sides. Okay? Kung ano yung yung exponent ng variable, yun din dapat yung maging index ng both sides or ng radical. Okay? So ngayon, meron ulit tayong positive and negative dito kasi nga yung exponent ni x ay even number. Okay? So, by this, we can now cancel the radical sign and the exponent. Matitira na lang yung x. And isimplify na rin natin yung square root ni 9. It's 3. Pero since meron tayong positive and negative, ibig sabihin, we have x sub 1, positive 3, x sub 2, negative 3. Now, we have to check kung alin lang dito yung solution or parehas ba ito solutions. Okay? Let's try. Let's try to check whether positive 3 is a solution. So, log of 3 plus 1 to the base 2 plus log of 3 minus 1 to the base 2 equals 3. So simplifying this, we'll get log of 4 to the base 2 plus log of 2 to the base 2 equals 3. Let me first erase this. So let's try to compute this manually. So this expression can be written or can be expressed as log of 2 raised to 2 to the base 2 plus log of 2 to the base 2 equals 3. Okay, we can simplify this since they have the same basis. So the answer here is 2. 2 plus, the exponent here is 1. Same basis din. So ang sagot ay yung exponent lang din. Therefore, 3 equals 3. So we were able to verify that positive 3 is a solution to this equation. Now, what about negative 3? Yung negative 3 ba solution din dito or hindi? Take a look at this. If we are going to substitute the variable x by negative 3, diba, we have negative 3 plus 1, it will give us negative 2, right? Also here, it will give us negative 4. Ngayon, yung values ng y natin ay, what can you notice? They are negative. Diba, one of the characteristics of logarithmic function is that y cannot be negative. So therefore, the only solution here is 3 or positive 3. So that's how we solve logarithmic equations. I hope you've learned something in this lesson video. You may try this in your notebook. Thank you for listening.